Are you tired of your plain old boring stereo in your second generation Toyota Tacoma? Because I've got a solution for you that has some surprising off-road features. Now, yes, this is a topic we have absolutely covered before on the channel. In fact, this is the first ever modification that I have done to this Tacoma. And honestly, this unit right here has been awesome. I've used it the past couple of years. It's got Android Auto, everything that you would really need. But there is one thing that has always bugged me about it. So yeah, my truck doesn't have the boring old stock deck in it. It's already been upgraded once. But once I saw this Dasaita, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Once I saw this unit, I knew that I needed it. The old unit was pretty much just a touch interface, and I missed having physical buttons to go with the fancy new screen. First thing that needs to come out is that heater control module, which pops right out with a trim removal tool. That is included in the box, by the way. And then you'll have a few screws to get at, and then you should be able to pull the rest of it out because it's just held in with some clips. Last thing is to disconnect the wiring, and it's out. We need to do a few things first in order to get the new head unit ready to install. The factory mounts will need to get removed from your stock head unit and bolted to the new one. You will also need to remove the clock, which will just clip beautifully into the new unit. Plus, you're going to need to remove all of the factory yellow clips from the old unit into the new. And last, you'll need to connect the harnesses that you're going to use. They shipped me a couple different variations of harnesses. I'm assuming one is for a different model of the truck and maybe with a different stereo. So I just went into my truck with the harnesses and started plugging things in and figured out what harness actually worked with my truck and then plugged it into the back of the stereo. Before we got too far actually installing the thing, I wanted to make sure it worked. So, of course, I just plugged it in, turned the key, and bam, she's working. Installing the new unit goes pretty well as smooth as removing the old one. Except there's a couple extra steps depending on what features you may choose to use and not use with your stereo. In my case, I want both my front and rear cameras to go through the new stereo, so I had to fish wires for each of those. Also, my old GPS antenna for the other stereo will not work with this one, so I had to fish a couple new wires through the dash for that as well. Luckily, the microphone I had with the last deck just plugged in, so now we're good to reinstall. Now I get to do the best part. Oh yeah. This thing is nice. The general user interface on this thing is just so much cleaner compared to the old iDoing. Especially so if you're coming from a bone stock deck. So another thing I noticed is this is definitely a bigger screen. And I'm not really a bigger screen better kind of person when it comes to infotainment in a vehicle. Honestly, I didn't mind the screen size of the old one. I thought it was perfect. This is maybe almost a little too big for my liking, but man, is it nice to have physical knobs again. And just like the last one, we have our Android Auto button. So it pairs with your phone all wirelessly and it's good to go. You got your GPS, your music, whatever. But I don't feel with this deck I need to use it because I've got everything I need here and it looks really good. Your music, your navigation, your speed, without even opening any apps. And of course, this deck just runs a normal Android operating system, so you can just download all of the apps that you need through the Google Play Store, and then you'll have access to awesome apps like Onyx Off-Road built right into the deck. Speaking of Onyx Off-Road, and no, this is not a sponsored bit, I did promise you some off-road features. So let's take a look. If we hit this button right here, it opens up a gyro app. As you can see, I'm clearly parked on an angle here filming this because I wanted to show it off-road. But you can also see your direction, altitude, longitude, latitude. It's all there. Which, to be honest, am I going to use this often? Probably not. It's probably going to be more of a, oh, this feels really steep. I wonder what the angle is, just out of curiosity, if I even remember. But the altitude part of it, I probably will use more often because I do find myself on mountaintops and stuff all the time where I'm just genuinely curious as to how high we are. This deck also features multiple video inputs, which is really cool. I was able to put my front camera straight to this deck. Boom, there it is. And if we want a reverse camera, there's our reverse camera. That's pretty cool, having multiple video inputs, because before I left my backup camera to run through the mirror here, like factory, and I used the backup camera input on the deck to run the front camera, so they were completely separate. But now, it's all in one unit, and is awesome. And on the topic of cameras, in the unboxing portion of this video, you guys might have noticed, the very first box that I took out was a little camera, and I have installed that right here in the factory location on the 3rd gen tailgate. I could have just used the factory 3rd gen camera, but it was just easier with the aftermarket deck to just install the aftermarket camera, and I don't need to go find a wiring diagram for the factory stuff and figure out how to connect it all. And I had the camera. So anyways, guys, that's about it for this week's episode of Dirt.Garage. I'm really happy and excited about this Dasaita unit versus the old iDoing one. The couple extra features like physical knobs and front and rear camera inputs, off-road stuff. I mean, you can't really go wrong. Anyways, guys, if you do me a huge favor, hit that thumbs up button. And hey, consider subscribing. We upload weekly Toyota, building, wheeling, and off-roading content. Anyways, we'll catch you next week. Peace.